The wind is rising, my little ones. The leaves are rustling in the trees. Can you hear it? The sound of wisdom. It's an ancient song that calls to us from the heart of nature. Are you ready to listen? Well, then let's start the fire. Gather around, my loves. Let me tell you a story about a sky goddess who danced with thunder. In the beginning, there was only the void, a vast emptiness from which all things came forth and to which all things must return. And in this void, there existed the potential for everything, including the potential for life. But there was no life, no movement, no sound, no light. Everything was at rest. There was no up or down, no in or out, no night or day. Time had not yet begun its ceaseless march. Life-giving water had not yet descended from the sky. The earth was without form and void, and darkness lay like a shroud upon the face of the deep. And then a mighty wind arose, the breath of the Great Mother, the first creative force, and it stirred the waters of the void, bringing them into motion. From the churning depths of the void, light began to emerge, dividing the darkness and banishing the shadows. And the first day was light, the first day of creation. And on that first day, the sky goddess emerged from the eastern mountains, riding a chariot drawn by two powerful horses, whose manes streamed behind them like banners of dawn. She held aloft a blazing torch, its flames licking up towards the heavens, and she cried out with a mighty voice, and her voice was the sound of creation, the word that brings things into being. And as she spoke, the world began to take shape. The mountains rose, the valleys sank, the rivers flowed, the forests grew, and the creatures of the earth came into being. Then the sky goddess turned her gaze towards the east, and there she saw the sun, born of the first rays of light, floating listlessly in the sky. And she knew that the sun needed help to find its strength, to become the great life-giving orb that the world depended on. So she reached out with one hand and grasped the sun, pulling it closer to her and enveloping it in the warmth of her love. And as they embraced, the sky goddess sang a song of power, a song that gave the sun the strength it needed to keep the darkness at bay and to bring light and warmth to the world. And the song also gave the sun wings so that it could soar through the sky with ease and grace. And thus the sun became the magnificent king of the daytime, forevermore ruling the heavens with his radiant light. But as the sun began its journey across the sky goddess noticed something. The clouds, though beautiful, were adrift with no direction or purpose, tossed about by the whims of the winds. And so she reached out to them with her other hand and wove them into a tapestry that stretched from horizon to horizon. She adorned it with golden stars and set it spinning through the heavens, chasing after the sun and giving it companionship on its long journey. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the world in darkness, the sky goddess knew that the time had come for her work to be done. With a final song, she released the clouds from their tapestry and watched as they gathered together into a swirling mass above the western mountains. And as the clouds swirled, the sky goddess sang a lullaby, a song that calmed the restless spirits of the evening and ushered them into the peaceful realm of dreams. Each night as the sun sets, the sky goddess repeats her song, calling forth the stars and guiding the moon on its nightly journey across the heavens. And each morning when the sun rises, she greets him with a new song, welcoming him back to the sky and giving him strength for another day of ruling the light. Now one day, as the sky goddess was dancing with the clouds, weaving them into a new tapestry of ever-shifting patterns, she heard a strange sound, a deep rumbling in the distance. At first she paid it no heed, assuming it was nothing more than the sound of distant thunder. But as the noise grew louder, she turned to face the coming storm. And there she saw a dark cloud rising in the east, a cloud unlike any she had ever seen before. It was huge and misshapen, and from its depths came the sound of rolling thunder and flashes of lightning. Fear clutched at her heart, for she knew that this was no ordinary storm. This was the wrath of a great storm spirit, a being of pure energy and chaos, whose very essence was the tempest. And as the storm spirit approached, the sky goddess could feel the power of his presence shaking the very foundations of the world. The mountains trembled, the rivers ran dry, and the forests were uprooted and tossed about like toys. And still the storm spirit came on, his fury growing with every step. And now, my little ones, do you know what happened next? Well, if you don't, let me tell you. The sky goddess did not run away. You see, when you dance with thunder, when you embrace the storm, you do not flee from it. No, you move towards it, towards the heart of the chaos, where the storm spirit rages. For there, in the midst of the storm, is where true power resides, the power to transform and renew, the power to cleanse and heal, the power to bring forth new life from the ashes of the old. So the sky goddess stood her ground, and when the storm spirit was upon her, she reached out and touched him with all her might. And as their hands met, the sky goddess poured her love into the storm spirit, calming his rage and soothing his pain. And as they embraced, the sky goddess sang a song of peace, a song that echoed the rhythm of the storm, that harmonized with the crashing thunder and the blinding lightning. And as the song filled the air, the storm spirit's anger began to subside. The mountains stood firm, the rivers flowed once more, and the forests stood tall, their branches swaying gently in the breeze. And the storm spirit, once a raging tempest of chaos and destruction, became a being of calm and serenity, his energy now balanced and under control. And so the sky goddess had tamed the storm spirit, but she did not keep him for herself. She knew that his power was too great to be contained by one being, and she knew that he was needed in the world to keep the balance between order and chaos. So she led him on a great journey across the sky, showing him the wonders of the world, the beauty of the clouds, the majesty of the mountains, the flow of the rivers, the rhythm of the seasons, and the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. And as the storm spirit journeyed, he learned to control his powers, to harness the wind and the rain, to call forth the lightning, and to shake the earth with the rumble of thunder. And so it was that the storm spirit, once a being of pure chaos and destruction, became the god of thunder, the bringer of rain, the shaker of the earth forevermore, ruling the skies with the power of his mighty hammer, keeping the world in balance with the rhythm of the seasons, bringing forth life with the fertilizing rains, and cleansing the earth with the thunder of his voice. Ah, my little ones, when you dance with thunder, you do not run away. No, you move towards it, towards the heart of the storm, where true power resides. And that, my loves, is the story of how the sky goddess danced with thunder. Now, before we go, remember to leave a like for more tales of magic and wonder. And until next time, may the wind be ever at your back and the sun in your face.